Hi. So, Aquarius, this is your Samhain, however you want to say it, Wheel of the Year reading. Initially, I used to do this as my own reading for myself every Samhain. I decided last year to do this for my collectives as my gift to you. So, I'm doing this for every sign. You can see your previous year in the playlist that it'll be added to. Please check the description box for everything you need to know. Check out your rising moon and Venus sign for additional messages. I will be time stamping this reading because it is a very lengthy read. We're going to start by talking about your songs because I channel before I do the reading and I listen to music from my library. We'll go ahead and we'll read from the Divine Circus Oracle. We'll grab some magnetic poetry. We will get into it with Beautiful Creatures Tarot because it's kind of Halloween-y. And then we'll clarify with the Deviant Moon Tarot as well. Now, if you don't already know, I'm clairsentient, claircognizant, and clairaudient. When I hear ringing in my ears on my left-hand side, those are messages from my spirit guides. And when I hear it on the right, they are messages from people I know that have passed on. Songs for you that's how I buy myself time while I timestamp for myself, were House of Eternal Return by Amanda Palmer. Somebody is kind of on a little bit of a broken record here, and there's a house that they keep thinking of. Sorry, I gotta pick my eye 2 seconds. Anyway, there's somebody who keeps on going back to the same place or keeps on remembering the same place. There's a feeling of stuckness there. The house she's been entering always. The thoughts of a grandmother stuck in a house. The mountains covered in snow. He'll have to listen to the song in order to get it, but it was very, it illustrated a scene for sure. Then there's What a Day by Faith No More, Ready or Not by the Fugees, Curse of the Currents by Said the Whale, which is actually to our area a local band from Vancouver, Closer by Tegan and Sarah, and I Want You by Blacklight Burns. Now, as I had said, we will be using the Divine Circus Oracle for your oracle message. I don't normally read from guidebooks, but I will be reading from the guidebook for this one. It's a little interesting. It has in it an affirmation as well as a healing trick, so you can definitely take advantage of that if you wish. But again, I will be reading from the oracle book. And again, this is the same reason why I don't read from guidebooks, is because they tend to tell you what to do, and I don't like being told what to do. So, and I generally don't. Anyway, all of the cards have been pre-shuffled, but for the purposes of our reading today, I will be shuffling the cards on camera as well. We'll be cutting this deck, but for the reading itself, we'll talk about that when we get to the shuffle, which will be time-stamped because that's when I'm going to do the majority of my channeling. Okay? So, let's see, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, what your message from the Oracle of the Divine Circus is. The Duke of Shadows. Duke of Shadows. There it is. I like the top hat. Real cool. Card 14 breaking down to a 5. It's all about change for you, sounds like. A change will do you good. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. A change will do you good. That's like a Sheryl Crow song. Some of you will be Capricorn, Aquarius, cusp individuals. I did randomly channel a song and got the words wrong while I was channeling it during the Capricorn read. But for you, the Duke of Shadows. The Duke of Shadows brings you an invitation to patience. It is a cautionary card, not to inspire concern, but rather to inspire curiosity. There is more to a situation, person, opportunity, or even an apparent absence of activity or success than meets the eye. You could imagine it being like the universe has another card up its sleeve and is yet to show its full hand. The Duke of Shadows indicates that a process has been set in motion but is under the radar of your awareness. Something is happening, even if that doesn't appear to be the case. But just like a seed starts to grow into a plant, deep in the earth, apparently invisible and yet very real, you are being subjected to invisible but real forces of growth and healing at this time. His appearance signifies that the bigger picture of what is happening right now is not fully available to you. It will be in time, but for now, Duke of Shadows reminds you that what you are seeing is not the whole story and is not the final verdict. Because you cannot know what you don't know, you will need to wait for more information to come to you. So if what you see, sense, or feel is negative right now, don't believe it. You are in a time of your life when your perspective will be partial. That is not enough. That is not through some failure on your part. Is just the way things at various points in the process of bringing dreams and visions to life in the world are. Sometimes we are at the top of the mountain and can see where we have come and where we are going very clearly. At other times we are doing the hard yards on the journey and have to keep going through what feels like a dark night, where we aren't really sure where we are going or even if we are getting anywhere at all. This is an essential part of the journey that leads us to the top of the mountain and a clearer view in due course. The Duke of Shadows tells you two things. Firstly, if you feel like this, keep going because your perspective will soon become a happier and more informed one. Secondly, don't take things at face value at the moment. Things are going to shift and change, and there will be a surprising twist in your life. Though you don't see it coming, another piece of your life puzzle is going to reveal itself soon. It will help solve a difficulty or question you have been holding in your heart. A healing trick here is you're going to play a game. Place your hands as tightly as you can over your eyes so you can open them behind your hands but only see darkness. Then suddenly take your hands away from your eyes and see the light. Repeat several times and say the following out loud. From darkness to light, when the timing is right, all I need to know is revealed, the beautiful truth no longer concealed. I trust that all I need comes to me at the perfect time and in the perfect way. Even when I feel I am in darkness, the perfection of the universe is always at play. Helping me find my way. Helping me find my way. And that is the healing trick. There's also an affirmation offered by this card. Just as day follows night, out of darkness comes the clarity of light. I am shown all that will help me at the perfect time and in the perfect way. I know everything that is helpful for me to know now and every day. And that's your oracle message for this month or this year. So take what you will with that. Now let's move on to your magnetic poetry, which classically I do at the end of a read, but I'm going to do it now so that we can kind of move on to the reading itself, because the reading itself is going to be quite long. And I'm going to do this in list form so that you don't feel like I'm telling you what you should take from it. You can make sentences. You might pick out keywords. It's all you. It's all you. You got a lot of words, a lot of short words though. The D could be a P. And if you were looking for an answer to a question, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, the answer is no. So I'll leave those up for you. So you can jot them down, or you can press pause so that you can jot those down. And we'll move into the shuffle. So during the shuffle, I will be doing some channeling for you. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to draw all of the cards for each month. I'm not going to speak about them until I do the clarification. This is the Beautiful Creatures Tarot. I thought it was kind of interesting for Halloween, and I wanted to pick some decks that were in, more, Halloween inspired, dark, but still, interestingly whimsical, I guess you could say. So that's what we're going to do. House of Eternal Return. A woman standing at an easel. She looks a little like somebody's grandmother. Still frame image retrieval. Still frame image retrieval. She hasn't gone out in 25 years. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Only the prophet knows. I really want you to listen to that song. I think that's an important one. Somebody keeps on going back to the same memory of the same house or the same situation or the same living arrangement or the same place. It's like they're frozen in time. And that's kind of what I get there. And every time that you get that, you get like a goosebump type feeling. There's goosebumps with that. You sit and you think about it, you picture it. You picture the house. You picture the way that it looks. You picture if you never left. You picture being trapped there. You picture... And the thing is that when you keep on calling it back to yourself, you essentially are trapping yourself there. We're meant to move forward. Momentum is your friend. I'm getting momentum is your friend. And, you know, sometimes, especially people who have addictions tend to relive the past too much. They're, you know, there's like a pause button on their growth in a way. And I'm by no means an addictions counselor, but I will say that, you know, it's that inability to move on that sometimes keeps people trapped and doesn't allow them to move forward. I think that is something that's got to do with that House of Eternal Return. And think about the title of it in and of itself. The House of Eternal Return. It's a space of, you're just constantly coming back to it. It's eternal for you. There's a place where you just consistently return back to. Just for fairness. They were going from November of 2025 all the way through to November of 2024, to November of 2025. Something significant in November of 2025. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I only take flippers and jumpers, maximum of 3 if they hit the table or flip. No more. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, November of 2024. House of Eternal Return. I tried to catch them, guys. Yeah, House of Eternal Return, Death card for November in the reverse with the Five of Wands and the upright. We'll talk about them when we do the actual read and clarification. December. The house she's been entering always. 3 of Cups. January. How's she so interesting? Seven of Swords. February. You made them like that in the old days. You made them like that in the old days. Well, I have 2 that flipped, but I also have 2 that have hit the table. The 2 that have hit the table will be February. The 2 that I have in my hand will be March. So we have the Ace of Wands with the Devil. This is called the Habit in this deck, but it's actually the Devil card. And then March, we have Temperance in the upright with the Four of Pentacles in the reverse. April. Somebody tells people what they want to hear. And they dismiss everything because they always tell people what they want to hear. So it's like they don't have their own identity because they consistently are always telling people what they want to hear. There's something about it that's dishonest. They lack an identity because they tell people what they want to hear. The Magician with the Four of Wands in the reverse, April. May of 2025. They don't know who they are. They don't have their own identity. Knight of Swords in the upright with the King of Pentacles in the upright for May. Interesting, isn't it? Because that's Taurus energy with Gemini energy during the season when Taurus turns to Gemini. May. That's time. That's a timing card with the two of them together. Something poignant will be happening during the Taurus-Gemini cusp during May, so mid-May. It might be a realization that has to do specifically with one's lack of personal identity. June. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes. Only the prophet knows. House of Eternal Return. A place that you go back to, or that you continuously go back to, either in your mind or physically. Like you're stuck, you just keep going back there. You can't get out of it. You're trapped. You're not trapped. It's programming. It's personal programming. You programmed yourself to think that this is the only way, or the only the house you've been entering always. Stuck. Like the pause button. There's a pause button or a replay button. Tell me more. Like you stopped at one point and you just keep going and trying to recreate. Not realizing the real issue. Turn into yeahs. I know what I know. I know. It's the last time round. I hear it in my head real low. Turn into the only one I'd ever known. Turn into, hope I do turn into you. Can't say why. Turn it all around behind us. Oh. Seven of Cups in the reverse. July. I'd like to tell you all about it. This is a card that's unique to this deck. It's called the Paranormal. It's in the reverse. So this is, in July, there's something about the literal as opposed to the invisible. Stop pretending, stop pretending, stop pretending. Something you need to stop pretending, stop making things into the figment of imagination. be literal. I'm listening. I'm not just messing with my cards. There's a pretending. August. Four of Swords in the reverse. September 2025. Turn this all around behind us. House of Eternal Return. Two separate songs at the same time. Interesting. Ace of Cups. And finally, October. Straightening up. Getting your things in order. October. So trapped in telling people what they want to hear, you're not actually hearing what they're saying. You never hear what people say because you're too busy telling them what they want to hear. I told you it's going to be a long process. I still have to clarify these. The Chariot in the reverse. Bottom of the deck, Three Pentacles in the reverse, a lack of relationship between mind, body, and spirit. No contracts, no deals, things not moving forward. The spiritual, the emotional, the mental, intellectual, and the tangible not in perfect symphony. Giving up. Dropping responsibilities and burdens, but again, giving up, relinquishing. I haven't been doing this for anybody else, by the way. Cowardice, lack of bravery, loss of temper, but more the inability to tame the inner beast. We're going to go ahead and for the theme of your reading, we're going to start your reading now. For the theme of your reading, we're going to pull a major arcana archetype from the Deftones Major Arcana Tarot. And that's going to show you your overall theme for the year. Then we'll go ahead and with the Deviant Moon Tarot, we're going to clarify each of the months and give you your messages. Kick back and relax, folks. If you have YouTube Pro, this is a good time to, listen while you're doing other things. You can shut your screen off if you have that and walk around and listen like it's a podcast. You can also do other things on your phone with it kind of running in the background in a tiny little screen on your screen, like picture in picture. Okay. For Aquarius. What is Aquarius' theme for this year from November 2024 all the way through October 2025? Tell us. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Digital bath, you're blue like I want you. Or I want to see like your eyes do. The Tower. something unexpected, a shock to the system, lightning striking, something sideswiping somebody, the unexpected, the things you did not expect, the ability to adapt to the unexpected also. But surprise, the element of surprise. Again, I always want to reiterate to people that this is not necessarily always a bad thing, just because it looks like a foreboding thing, because it's like, oh no, I wasn't expecting that. And people don't necessarily always navigate change in an amazing way. A lot of the time, those things that kind of pop up sporadically, spontaneously, unexpectedly, can actually be blessings in disguise. It is in the upright, so it's something that isn't necessarily something that you might know that you want in the moment, but it is what is meant to be. It's ordained by the universe. It is lightning striking, so that new growth can occur. Right? Again, I do want to remind, this is about adaptability here, right? It's about adaptability. The ability to adapt to changing circumstances, no matter how unexpected, is inherent. When we talk about the Tower, Scorpio energy, this could mean that something unexpected is happening during Scorpio season for you, which could be the latter end of October of 2025, or it could be during the beginning of November of this year. Nonetheless, it's important to remember adaptability, counting your blessings, and being authentic while navigating these changes. There's an element here, just in my channeling, of an Aquarian individual, although very fixed in the sun sign energy, or in the rising energy, which is the energy that you present to the outer world, or how you appear to the outer world, of somebody who tells other people what they want to hear and maybe putting on an act. This is not a time to concern yourself with pleasing an audience or being artificial. It's a time to be authentic and connect with the self. Navigating change, unexpected change, things that blindside you. You serve no one by being fake, inauthentic, disingenuine, or by telling people what they want to hear when something unexpected arises. And more importantly, although in life, and you might be encountering this with another individual, I'm not going to place the blame solely on one person or another and say, oh, well, it must be an Aquarius who's doing this, because it could very well be that you're encountering that in your realm with somebody else. But anybody who does that is not serving their highest good, because at the end of the day, when you are confronted with this energy, you can't fake your emotions, your reactions, and what happens when you finally connect with yourself in humility as those unexpected things are happening, depending on their severity. You know, the wisdom in that card is the beauty of connecting with the self in authenticity and understanding where you are able to adapt to unexpected change, and where you have anger or grief or pain, and navigating your way through it authentically. But you have to have a relationship with the self in order to do so. It's important. With November, we are talking about initially with your cards and with the songs, the House of Eternal Return. And we began with November showing us the Death card in the reverse. The Death card is a Scorpio card, so it's only fitting that we get that for the beginning of November being Scorpio season. House of Eternal Return. Bang your head against the wall, see if it still hurts. Death card in reverse is the merry-go-round of crazy. There are things that are never ending. There are things where we aren't transforming anything, we aren't ending anything, new things aren't being birthed. It's just a cycle that continuously repeats itself. And with that, there is Five of Wands energy, which, although not depicted as accurately here, is conflict. It is an argument. It's a never-ending battle. Jesus, it never ends. That's what I'm hearing. It's a battle. It's a fight. I know the keywords on these cards are rather misleading, and they're misleading. But this is a card of conflict. It's a card of fighting. Knock down, drag him out, fighting. That does not end. You might be feeling like you're engaging in a fight that is not ending, that never ends, a struggle that never ends. But this usually, the Five of Wands, involves other human beings. Because in the Rider-Waite Tarot, it is people hitting each other with sticks. And I'm not laughing. I'm not actually laughing. But it seems like it's fighting that never ends. It does not see resolution. It just continues. And then it reverses and it goes back over itself over and over and over. Beating a dead horse is one. Somebody who just never gets over something. You just keep, House of Eternal Return. Let's go ahead and use our Deviant Moon Tarot, which we will be using for all of the cards of each month to clarify. And we'll shed some light on this for you and see what in particular the fight isn't ending. I do also want to note that Pluto is moving finally after being in Capricorn since 2008, moving into Aquarius. And it's going to be, as far as I'm aware, a 16-year cycle. And having it be in my sun sign, and I have a 4-point stellium in Capricorn. I can tell you, it is a hot damn of a period of grief, watching loved ones leave the earthly plane, but also watching people abandon you. It is a big bad motherfucker of a placement to have in your sign. And it's a period of soul searching and coming into relationship with yourself in a way different way than you have ever known, So while I don't want to creep anybody out by saying that or set you up with low expectations of what the next decade and a half are going to be like, understand that it is more important than ever for you to have an intensely honest relationship with the self. So that when these things pop up that will come to the forefront under Pluto and your sign, which, it differs for everyone, that you are able to navigate that a little bit more successfully and with kindness towards yourself, right? Let's see what November's energy, this argument, this never-ending battle, this fight, what it's about. Coming out of confusion about something with the moon, Cancerian energy. Some people see this as Piscean energy. It's coming out of confusion about something. It's also about making sense out of nightmares. What was done in the dark comes to the light. God's going to cut you down. Johnny Cash, but I'm hearing the Manson version. What's done in the dark will come to the light. Fights over that. The shadows emerging, what's emerging out of the shadows, things that were hidden now coming to the forefront. but a lifting of confusion, a lifting of deception, fights over the lifting of deception. What else? Okay. The Hanged Man in the upright with the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Capricorn energy here on the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse with another, like a Piscean card with the Hanged Man, gaining perspective, understanding other people's points of view, time. My time is like a broken watch. I make money like Fred Astaire. Take You on a Cruise by Interpol. This is about the inability to create a luxurious, comfortable home space. Feminine Capricorn energy, seeing where a Capricorn influence was not sitting comfortably in their home space, but getting perspective on the deception that was brought about by that. Cancerian, Capricorn, Piscean energy, somebody with those in their chart, but also there's arguments and conflict and a never-ending conflict that is involving time, the wasted time, the lack of determination and ambition within someone. Somebody could be a Capricorn moon here as well with the moon card there because they match. But also it seems to be that there is somebody who has the need to gain perspective as opposed to actually gaining perspective, because the Hanged Man in the upright is the need to gain perspective. He's put himself up there voluntarily so that he can see things from a different angle. Something isn't ending because somebody somebody feels that they're biding their time, or they're pressed for time, or they've wasted time, or they're wasting time, or you're trying to see it from a multiple there's either a need or there's an attempt to view things from multiple points of view. Why the lack of ambition? Why the inability to create a comfortable home space? Deception lifting. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light. Sooner or later, God will cut you down. Do you see? Run on for a long time. In December, we have the Three of Cups. In the upright, this is celebration. It could be gathering for, of course, because it's the holidays. There'll be many gatherings that have to do with the holiday season. But it's also gathering together three sisters, typically are depicted by this card. It's also bachelorette parties, bachelor parties, birthday celebrations, bridal showers, baby showers, that kind of thing. If it was in the reverse, and I would say it's about gossip. There could be people that are gathering together during celebrations and exchanging, comparing notes on things. Defensiveness. A lack of defensiveness, no longer hiding behind things. Somebody who decides to come out and enjoy a celebration as opposed to hiding behind the fence. Instead of protecting themselves, they decide to come out and celebrate something. Tell me more for December. You have a flipper. You have two flippers. Sweet. King of Wands. Aries energy with the Six of Cups. There is a novelty that has to do with this about nostalgia. There's nostalgia linked to this. Childhood wishes, dreams, and goals. Nostalgic connections from childhood. But also that King of Wands energy is Leo energy. Might encounter a Leo, a leadership energy, somebody who rules with a firm hand, very confident and very comfortable with the spotlight, very dominant. They're pointed towards, so watch. They're pointed towards. So if you look at this, this is almost like an audience here. And you're here coming out of, I believe this is you. You're here coming out from behind everything where you would be protected, watching an ongoing play, celebration, performance, something. And this person you encountered, this Leo individual here, you were not expecting to see them. And they're sitting there actually extremely confident. You're the one who looks a little freaked out. You're caught unawares. Caught unawares. The thing is that they don't necessarily care. And again, flip the script where you think it's most appropriate, but again, I have a small collective. I don't read for millions of people yet. So I don't even know who is who in my collective. So I could have 50 Aquariuses and 12 Sagittariuses, and you know what I mean? So in January you have the Seven of Swords, which is treachery. It does say treachery, and that's actually one of the meanings of the card that I lean towards a lot, which is I actually think it's quite appropriate, this keyword on this one. Typically in the Rider-Waite Tarot, this denotes, well, it illustrates a man taking the swords away from camp while the soldiers are sleeping. We don't know the motive of that. It doesn't provide much context, just a card with no real story or backstory behind it because the cards are so old. But there are many different interpretations of that. He could be taking the swords away to prevent war. He could be doing so to prevent harm. He could be doing so so that, you know, they can't fight during the day. He could be doing so for nefarious reasons so that the other soldiers can come in and slaughter them during their slumber. We don't know. A lot of people believe that because it is a card with a lot of different color, specific coloring in it, that it's a positive card. I don't necessarily think that's the case. Let's see why during January we have the Seven of Swords in the upright for Aquarius. The Page of Pentacles in the reverse. This was a lack of offer, a lack of tangible communication. It's almost like, I remember what I was saying before about how somebody says what people want to hear and as opposed to actually, so they don't know who they are. People can, it's the inauthenticity is palpable, is what I'm getting here. Is that people during January are seeing through something and can see the dishonesty on somebody's face. They know that they're being told what they want to hear and that somebody is not being their authentic self. They're not being brought tangible communication, something that they can see, touch, taste, feel, or something that they can make sense of, or something that they can bank on. Thank you, bank on. Tell me more. Sorry, I'm tired, guys. I work a lot. Tell me more. Aquarius, tell us about this. What is the treachery about? January, Aquarius. Yeah, okay. Eight of Pentacles. Work. Somebody isn't working. They could be telling people that they're working. This it could be a bunch of shit talking. Like somebody doesn't make good on their promises when it comes to their work. Somebody doesn't work hard or somebody doesn't work at all. Somebody doesn't, something's not working. This is typically apprenticeship energy or a master training an apprentice, but it's somebody honing their craft, if you look there. And when somebody's coming with a pentacle, people are realizing that they can't bank on somebody's work or their craftsmanship. They understand that it's treachery during January. Tell me more. They're talking shit. They're a shit talker. They talk out their ass. I'm hearing this. Somebody's saying this to somebody else. The Tower in the reverse. This is that sideswiping, unexpected energy. Somebody's surprised, but not really shocked. Not too shocked. They're not terribly shocked by this revelation. They're not surprised. They almost knew it was coming. Either you or somebody else was kind of expecting this would be the case. You're either dealing with somebody who does this. I hope you're not that individual who does this. But again, I don't know who I'm reading for. And it seems like here that somebody is, it's something that they didn't expect, but they kind of did. You know? They couldn't bank on the words and the communication when it really came down to it. The tangible thing, the action, the hard work wasn't really there. So were they surprised? I mean, they were shocked about some parts of it with the tower there, but they weren't really. They kind of knew they couldn't bank on something. That there was something that was dishonest. I don't think they were ever lying to themselves, otherwise we would have had the 5 of Swords there. Hold on one sec. Sorry, I had to pee. This also, this could also be where something actually physically collapses due to poor craftsmanship. Somebody puts in the offer, they're highly doubting if it's going to work out or if it's going to lead to anything tangible. It doesn't work out the way it should, or it's poor craftsmanship, shoddy work, and something actually breaks or topples as a result of negligence. It's unexpected. During February, we have the Devil and the Ace of Wands. Phallic energy, usually on the Ace of Wands. We also call it the matchstick of the divine. It's usually the initiation of a creative endeavor, inspiration striking like a match with the Devil. Devil energy here, it has to do with temptation. Holding a profound and right respect for the things that we hold on the earthly plane, the things we indulge in on the earthly plane. And remember, only as long as we indulge to a certain extent is that respecting the energetic, spiritual, and material indulgences, right? Once it's excess, then it's excess, and therefore, then it's a problem. Inspiration is striking somebody. Somebody's having an insight of some sort in February regarding where their indulgences are leading them to poor health or poor, where their poor habits are not serving their highest good. There could be a creative project that is linked to healing one's indulgences, or where one is curtailing those in order to create something or begin something that has promise linked to it. Let's see about that for Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. House of Eternal Return. Okay. got to do with it? The House of Eternal Return. This is the four walls of a home. This is the Four of Wands, if you didn't know. The four walls of a home, the four posts of a marriage bed. This is a relationship that was normally considered to be a marriage or something with hand-fasting energy, but also the stability within the home space. But it's instability within the home space. Somebody has an inspiring idea, or there's an initiation of examining where indulgence has created instability within a home space, or where it has created instability within a cemented long-term relationship. Tell me more. The lack of respect for the indulgences on the tangible plane, where one's excessive need to indulge has created instability. Tell me more. This almost came out. Okay. Somebody is either shying away from a meeting of two, the meeting of two, the Two of Cups. Somebody is recognizing that somebody has problems and therefore they're not meeting with them. Somebody could be trying to rekindle a serious relationship that's a part of the Four of Wands, but somebody is turning that down. They're seeing where somebody has problems with indulgence and they're therefore not pursuing that. Someone else has a very clear idea of how they would like to start something, but that Two of Pentacles, somebody else is saying, I'm not meeting with you, I refuse to meet with you. And that's how that's working right there. Either that or somebody is deciding to shy away from relationships in order to work on addictions and attempt to heal themselves of those during February. Somebody is following their intuition in terms of this. This is Cancerian energy. Their intuition and protecting their heart space when they know it won't serve their highest good. The Queen of Cups is, again, like I said, feminine Cancerian energy. Doesn't have to be a female, but it is energy of somebody who knows when to protect their heart space and when to give of their energy, their affections, their romantic energy, friendship energy even. They know when somebody is worthy of their company and when they aren't. So you might be coming in with that. So the Ace of Wands is also considered, I think I also said this when I was talking about the Ace of Wands, that it's a phallic symbol. Somebody might, be really gung-ho from that perspective of things, and this other person is like, nah, man, I see where this is going. You can't offer me stability in my home space. You can't offer me, you will not offer me marriage. I just know that's not where that's going to go. I don't want to meet up with you, and I will protect my heart space, and I will not give you my energy. Just direct translation there if we look at these. Sorry. If you look at these, and I'm not saying this is you, it could be you saying this to somebody else. But look at these. I don't see us making a stable home together. I don't see us contributing to a healthy, happy home life. I do not see marriage in the cards for us. Therefore, I will not meet with you. I will not break bread with you. I will not exchange drinks with you. And I will not give of my cup to you. Because I know when I'm worthy, I will follow my intuition. I have a higher respect for myself than that. Yeah. Make no mistake. And it could be you, like I said. You could be the one saying that. It's really difficult in these readings, right? During March, we have somebody who's deciding to moderate. They're deciding to temper the things within themselves. They're deciding to even things out. Sagittarian energy with the Temperance card there. They're trying to heal. They're also attempting to be patient and sit back and wait and watch. And they're not doing such a good job of saving. Sometimes this is considered miserly energy, but a lot of the times it's also considered to be somebody who is spending, splurging to excess. Somebody who is just spending money like it's water. So while you're sitting back waiting and moderating, you're also spending money like it's water. Where somebody else is sitting and watching and they live in moderation, but they're watching you splurge. Flip the script where you will. Us during March. Is it to manage? It's to manage this feeling of being shot down. Somebody is licking their wounds and trying to make up for it by like shopaholicisming, retail therapy, or what else do people spend money on to make themselves feel better? I mean, I'm just trying to think, what are the other vices that have to do with just spending money like it's water? And that's what gets you high. Gambling, maybe? But one person is sitting back and watching, and the other person is just peeling bills off like crazy. Tell me more. Is that a part of the reason why this 4 is in the reverse up there? There's a lack of stability since we have most of the 4s I've seen. In fact, all of the 4s on this board thus far are in the reverse. So it's a lack of stability. I just caught those 2 cards from falling. Interesting. They can't rely on somebody who isn't stable and doesn't have their shit together in that regard. 2 of Pentacles in the upright. Dichotomous energy. As long as you're ambiguous with the universe will be ambiguous with you. Having 2 opposing feelings, juggling them both at the same time. Do not be disillusioned into thinking that this is juggling 2 people at the same time. They're pentacles, they're tangible, energetic pieces of earth matter. They're not individuals. They're energies. It's like, should I stay or should I go? That song. If I go, there will be trouble. But it's that inner conflict. But the thing, again, like I said, as long as you're ambiguous with the universe will be ambiguous with you. So as long as somebody is looking at 2 different options of which direction to travel in, or 2 different options of what to build on the earthly plane, you have to be decisive with your energy and what you would like to create. If you aren't, forget it. If you're not 100% sure about something, you don't move until you're 100% sure on something ever. Even if you don't think you are and you're like, well, I think I'm sure, and then you move on something, you really are sure. Otherwise, you wouldn't be taking action towards something. This is somebody who's not taking action towards anything. That might as well be a clown with rubber balls, Everything's up in the air, juggling. Tell me more. Tell me more about that. Give me more context. More context, please. For Aquarius. More context. Impatience. The inability to sit back and survey something before moving ahead on a path. Somebody's impulsivity and inability to look at options and make decisions from a careful, confident space. It's like somebody can't, survey things and weigh the pros and cons of things and then decide from, it keeps coming up, a confident, divisive headspace. Not anymore. Yeah. So they just keep going back to the same thing over and over again. They just keep on the same vicious cycle type of path. Nothing ever changes. Things are always the same. The merry-go-round of crazy. Things never end. It's just the same shit over and over and over and over again. And it's a balancing act. Scorpio energy here. But in the reverse. It's the death card in the reverse. Somebody who never changes. Something that never changes. Circumstances never change. Every day is exactly the same. And nothing ever begins. Nothing ever ends. It's always the same thing. And if they have to move on anything, they try to recreate the same thing, or they try to go back to things that they've already had or already known, or return to the same shit over and over. The house of eternal return. The house of eternal return. During April, we have the Magician in the reverse, Gemini energy, with the Four of Wands in the reverse. I told you, all the fours are on this board, and all of the fours are in reverse. The Four of Wands in the reverse, again, lack of stability in the home space, an unstable relationship. With the Magician in the reverse, Gemini energy on that one. That's a trickster. That's somebody who creates illusions, is dishonest, does not have mastery of the self, and therefore cannot master the elements. Because they're too busy. It's like I said in the beginning, somebody who tells people what they want to hear and therefore doesn't know who they are. Because they're too busy throwing up illusion. They put up a front all the time. So nobody knows who they are, but they don't know who they are anymore because they're too busy pretending to be somebody that they're not. The lack of connectedness with the self, and therefore the inability to connect with the elements. And therefore the inability to manifest anything tangible. Or anything that, has substance, for lack of a better term. Lacks stability. Anything that has stability. They cannot create stable things because they are unable to have a right relationship with self. They're too busy throwing up a front. Tell me more. Tell me more. Whoa, card vomit. These three, is it three? It's three. They stuck. Lack of, okay. Because there's a charity and the charitable, and this is balance, equilibrium, Libra energy. The need to balance with the feeling of being left out in the cold and the ability to take risks. These two are zodiac counterparts. The inability to balance and the feeling of being left out in the cold, even though it's not, it's an illusion, it's not a reality. Somebody's watching somebody else. They hide and they watch somebody else who is out in the cold doing their thing, who believes that they lack wealth and warmth, but they have the ability to manifest this for themselves. This person's watching this person do this. And then there's the risk-taking, the adventurousness that somebody has to strike out and create a future for themselves. This is the Fool, the Fool's journey. The Fool is a human in the tarot. These two, Libra and Aries, are counterparts on the wheel of the zodiac. What separates them is the fear of being left out in the cold, destitute, desolate, somebody who believes they're impoverished, the ability to ask for help, the ability to offer help, and then the person who is risk-taking, adventurous, pioneering. In relation to April, somebody fools somebody else into thinking that they need their help. Somebody fools somebody else into thinking they need their help, that they need their charity, when they really don't. They have the ability to go out and break out and do something and create their own destiny, to manifest their own destiny. They refuse to do it. Somebody else is watching this. In fact, they could be watching somebody who already has nothing. They've already given the shirt off of their back, but they're being asked for more and more and more. Because somebody creates these illusions of all of these fantastic things, but they cannot offer stability because it's all an illusion. With that Magician and Four of Wands in reverse. During May, we have a timing card. Well, I won't call it a card because it's two cards. This is timing during May. We have the Taurus card, King of Pentacles. This is warmth and hearth and home. This is somebody who creates stability, the stability of a Taurus individual. Typically, it's masculine energy. With Gemini, impulsivity, adventurousness, somebody with a silver tongue, somebody who takes quick, impulsive action. This is the cusp. This is a time placement. May, this falling in May, this will be during the Taurus Gemini cusp in May. So mid-May. Tell us what's happening then. What's happening during that time for Aquarius? There has been an injustice. And this actually felt like this. So essentially, an injustice is going to either be found out, discovered, or it's going to be, something is going to be examined for it to be righted. Injustice, like a lack of equilibrium, a lack of balance is going to be evaluated. Libra energy on that. Tell me more. Knight of Pentacles, Virgo energy. Slow, plodding, methodical action moving forward. Once this sense of injustice, once this deception or lack of balance, or like I said, this injustice, this crime, or this thing is discovered, there will be slow, plodding, methodical action. When we have cards facing this way, it's going towards you. When we have cards facing the opposite way, they're traveling outside of you, from you. This is slow, plodding, methodical action moving towards you. Either to tell you about this injustice, or hopefully you're not the person doing this, but it's coming towards you. Tell us more. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We have card vomit here, but we have a flipper. Yeah, it's about a lack of wish fulfillment, or somebody not getting their wish, not getting their way, not exercising self-love, not loving themselves, and therefore a lack of worthiness for a deep emotional connection. I don't want you to get it twisted. This is not about you not being worthy of self-love or about having your wishes granted, but it is about somebody who is not being fair, not being balanced, and not being just. Something is not okay and somebody's done something wrong, And so therefore they're not worthy of wish fulfillment until they right the ship. Right? Doesn't necessarily have to be you, though. Like I said, it could be somebody you're dealing with who's done this to you. You know, it's not up to you to, give them karma, though. You just gotta let the chips fall where they may, Remember what was set up here, what's done in the dark will be brought to the light. Right? During June, we have the Seven of Cups in the reverse. This is a dropping of emotional options. A lot of people consider Seven of Cups to be a listing of suitors. In the reverse, it's somebody who's dropping all of their emotional options, or it's somebody who's building castles in the sky, no more. It could also be where somebody is no longer entertaining options of an emotional nature. Tell us. Oh, that was fast. You're normally a very efficient sign with your flippers and jumpers anyway. This is a lack of legacy. Somebody has chosen a direction. They've taken their blindfold off. This is an awakening. The beginning of self-awareness with the Two of Swords. And together, this would be becoming aware that there is a lack of legacy on the path that one has chosen. That they have deluded themselves in context of the Seven of Cups. And that the path forward is not going to lead to legacy for them. That it will not lead to the zenith of material fulfillment. The direction they've chosen may not necessarily be the right one. This could also be coming out of standstill energy, because one realizes that the stalemate that they've been sitting in has resulted in a lack of legacy, and that they haven't put in the appropriate amount of energy to travel towards creating something that will last longer than their own mortality or their existence on this planet. Tell me more. Tell me more. What say you? Yeah, it's like the trumpeter's call, right? It's like atonement. It's like somebody finally realizing where they put in the energy and where they didn't. Yeah, there's also a lack of relationship with the self, or where one's physical, spiritual, mental, emotional is not in perfect symphony. There's also a lack of friendship, a lack of partnership, and somebody's kind of run into a dead end on the road. They're not being offered anything in particular that's going to lend to any of those three aspects of self, but isn't going to lead to offers, contracts, or additional companionship. We have in July the paranormal, which it says curiosity on the card, but really what this is it's about the unseen. It's about the things that we cannot see that are beyond the veil. And I think what we're looking at for July is the sense of being literal, not assuming, not dealing with what we cannot hold in our hands. Tell us more for July. For Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. For July. Yeah, somebody is finally coming out of self-deceptive energy. They're realizing where they've lied to themselves because they have been dealing with inferences, where they have been dealing with implications as opposed to the reality of a situation, where they've been dealing with illusion instead of the tangible. If we bank on things that we cannot see, touch, taste, and feel, we don't really have a whole lot to go off of except for promises, wishes, and figments of our imagination. It's important to be more literal during July, so we don't lie to ourselves, so that we're not operating in delusion. Tell us more. Oh, we have two. That's good. Yeah, this could be relating back to February. Ace of Wands in the upright with the Empress in the reverse, Taurus. Libra energy on the Empress. There's a need to connect with nature. There's a need to connect with the earth, to ground, and to center. While this is the beginning of a creative endeavor, it lacks the gravity that's required in order for it to be long lasting, sustainable, or inspiring in some way. There's a need to operate in the tangible side of things, to ground, to center, to work with the earth, and to not fool oneself into believing that things that are what isn't what you don't see before you isn't actually, like, using your imagination is all well and good, but when you're beginning this creative endeavor, or when you start something out anew with that Ace of Wands energy, and this could be a passion project, this could be a creative project, it could just be inspiration striking. You need to ground and center and understand that the connectedness with the earth is most important. Nurture oneself. This could also be mother energy, but I think it's more about nurturing oneself. Do not fool oneself into believing that inspiration alone is going to propel you forward. Connect with the earth, work with the earth, understand the nature of holding things in your hands, and how the energy of what is visible and what is real offers so much more substance than simply an idea, or a feeling, or words. It's action. How do we take action in a way that's meaningful? And I think the need to connect with the earth is super huge here with that Empress card. Somebody needs to keep their feet firmly planted on the ground instead of their head up in the clouds. Another 4 in the reverse for you during August. We have the 4 of Swords in the reverse. This is the invitation to heal, the invitation to meditate, the invitation to go within, to rejuvenate oneself, to take quiet respite and repose in order to heal pain, either physical or emotional, and to really pause for reflection in a situation. Because it's not in the upright. That hasn't been something that you've done up until now. And in August, that's going to be something that you're either going to find that you need to do, or that you are drawn to do, or should do, or being advised by others to do. Tell us more. It's also about connecting on the spiritual plane through meditation practices. That's some card vomit there. Yeah, that one. Time to look at where you can invest yourself, where you can put in the appropriate investment. But also that's about waiting for your investments, which you have physically dedicated yourself to, waiting, sitting back and watching the fruits of your labor grow, as opposed to rushing through things and picking the fruit off the vine before it's ripe. And that's when you take rest. That's when you sit back and rely on practices such as meditation to carry you through the urge to pick the fruit off the vine when it's not ready. There might be an expectation that somebody might come along and apologize to you, or you might be extremely stubborn during this time and not be looking to communicate something emotional to somebody else. It doesn't make you stubborn. Sometimes people don't deserve apologies. But this is making no apologies, or and not communicating small emotional things to others. It could also be water sign children. More than that, I think it's about keeping even the small communications to yourself. keeping to yourself, going within, connecting with the self, sitting back and watching what you have invested in carefully grow, tending to that, but not doing so with emotional words and sweet nothings. Yeah, what else? Because what needs to happen here, if we look at all of this, is action. Actions backing up words, right? And again, this could be somebody that you're dealing with. You could be banking on the words, and but you're looking for actions and sustained, stable, consistent stuff, not something of substance, right? How's more? You have a flipper. Yeah, because you're going to be coming out of abandonment, grief, loss, disillusionment, depression even. And once you do that, once you take the time to connect with yourself through meditation practices, or take that real rest and sit back and watch while the things that you have invested in grow, you'll be able to recognize the cup from the divine that would be extended out to you, as is classically depicted in the Four of Cups, rather than ignoring it, right? You won't take for granted the things that you normally would have. You see how that person's just tossing that cup of wine over the side like they don't care? And other people are like, what the hell are you doing? Throwing that wine over? I'd kill for a glass of wine right now. Do you know what I mean? So you're coming out of that energy. During September, we have an Ace of Cups for you. This doesn't necessarily mean that you're starting a new relationship. It could be the renewal of an existing relationship, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's romantic either. It could be a friendship or a family relationship. But let's see. It could also just be the stirrings within your heart for somebody else. It doesn't necessarily mean you're meeting up with somebody. Let's see. I'm going to tell I'm going to be really popular after this reading, right? Yeah, you are fond of somebody during September. What you don't understand is that they're not paying attention to you. Either that, or you're attempting not to pay attention to them. You're trying to do that willful ignorance thing, Yeah, they're not looking at you. They don't have the slightest idea who you are, and it almost looks like they don't care. Remember, this is energy that's, going towards you. This is, and if it was going this way, it'd be away, or it'd be coming from you. This is somebody who is totally either ignoring you, or they don't care. They're not paying attention. Normally, a Page of Swords in the upright would be somebody who is watching for the purposes of learning, investigating something for the purposes of learning. Some people consider it the stalker card, but this person in the reverse is not focusing on either any attempts that you make to express your fondness of them, or you've grown fond of somebody because they're not paying attention to you and they're not giving you what you want, or flirting back or something like that, And do remember, if you have to argue for somebody's attention, then fuck their attention. You know what I mean? There you are in the reverse. This is a lack of healing also. You could be feeling disconnected from yourself. You could be feeling like you're not your old self. But again, this is also a lack of healing, a feeling disconnected from your goals and personal wishes, the things that you hold in high esteem and that you've always wanted for yourself, that you keep on going after. The big wish, the big ones. But this is also faith, a lack of faith in something. It's almost like demotivated energy, like you're demotivated by they're ignoring you, and so you feel demotivated. It could be a real letdown for you, like it's uninspiring. it might even make you feel like crap about yourself. Don't let anybody make you feel like crap about yourself. You gotta, and this is why a lot of people will, like preach ad nauseum about those love of self, is because, we're all beautiful human beings in our own right. But the fact of the matter is that not everybody is for you, and you're not for everybody, So just because one person ignores you doesn't mean that everybody will. And just because, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure there are people in everybody's lives who are like, yeah, that person, whatever, But don't let it demotivate you. Don't feel like crap about yourself just because this, again, like I said, that's why the self-love talk is so huge, right? Anything else on that? And I mean, maybe it's because if it's you that's the person who does this, maybe it's because you don't necessarily have a connectedness with who you are. Maybe you've been telling people what they want to hear for so long that you don't know who you are. So when you try to express who you are to other people, you aren't really coming off that authentic. Or, I had it. It's almost like you don't have practice being who you are, so you haven't found your people yet. Do you know? You don't necessarily know who would be into you because you're consistently pandering to the audience, If it's not you, you could be used to being with people who are constantly just on you, telling you what you want to hear, in which case you never know who you really have a connection with, because you're just ending up consistently getting with the first person who tells you everything you want to hear instead of actually trying to form an authentic connection with you, right? I think there's a disconnectedness with the self, though. You see? Get back to being found. Yeah. Oops. Oh, we had two that stuck. Get back to being found. You're disconnected with the self. King of Swords in the reverse. That's your card, yeah? Masculine Aquarian energy. There's a sense of feeling injustice here, but also this is normally magistrates, parole officers, legal counsel, lawyers, judges, magistrates, police officers, anybody who works in criminal justice. You're either working around a criminal or with a criminal, or a criminal is surrounding you, a thief, scam artist. Hopefully that's not you. But that's, you could just be feeling ultimately disconnected from the self. Like I said, dude. Disconnected from the self. Alright? And then with it, we have the High Priestess. There's a secret that you're holding. Something you don't want people to know. Or intuitively you understand that you're disconnected from the self. And that there's something that you need to delve into the depths to unearth and work with in order to find that connection, that deep relationship with yourself. Yeah. In October, finally, in October 2025, we have for you the Chariot in the reverse. Some people consider this stagnancy. Other people consider this, I in the upright consider this my move of address card, relocation, as well as travel, movement forward. In the reverse, no, you're not moving. You're not moving forward. You're not moving house. You're not traveling. You're staying put. It's also a Cancerian card. Tell us more. Whoa. Yeah, you could be dealing with a Cancer, Leo cusp individual, somebody born mid-July to the beginning of August. You could also be experiencing some anger or frustration, or the need to be brave because you're not moving somewhere, or because you're not traveling somewhere, or because you're not moving forward as you would have expected in a scenario. There's no progress, so you might be feeling that you're stuck. And that might be something that gets you super frustrated. The Strength card is the taming of the inner beast. It's about anger. It's about frustration and how well we contain that, how we channel that creatively. It's also about if we are, exercising bravery or if we are demonstrating cowardice, because it's in the upright. I think it's about your ability to tame the inner beast, to embrace your anger and channel it in the appropriate productive direction, because you're not moving forward in something like you would have liked to. Yeah, you're worried that people will be gossiping about this, and there could be people gossiping about it. You're growing impatient with that Two of Wands. There's that Three of Cups. Growing impatient, you believe that people are gossiping about it, and there could, like I said, let's be realistic, in this day and age, people are more concerned with other people's tragedies than they should be. So there could be people meeping off about it, of course, but don't concern yourself with that. It looks like you are getting a little impatient. You're exercising impatience, and that impatience is actually going to do you more harm than good. So during October, try not to be impatient. Try not to talk shit. Try not to engage in places where there are gatherings of people, where people are all talking crap about something or what have you, because if you are in that mindset, doing these two first cards things, you're going to see yourself with a lack of offer or tangible new beginning. And so that's your cautionary tale on that one. Overall energy for you, Aquarius, for this whole year from our clarifiers is the Six of Wands in the reverse. And it's a feeling, I'm going to say here, it's a feeling rather than a reality, but it's a feeling of losing out, a lack of triumph, a lack of achievement and applause or accolades or recognition for doing something, or for struggle, or navigating struggle. Perhaps it's been quite some time since you've received recognition, since you've had somebody celebrate you, since you've had somebody say they were proud of you. Any of those kinds of things. That's unfortunate if that's true. However, by the same token, the relationship with the self has to be there in the first place. At the end of the day, and I know this sounds like bullshit, but you have to be able to be proud of yourself before you can demand recognition from others. You have to be able to weather the storm. You have to be able to adapt to changing circumstances. You have to have an honest conversation with yourself about what needs improvement, and where your feet are firmly planted on the ground, and where you're operating out of a headspace that's up in the clouds. And how you can, move yourself forward in the appropriate direction. A good question to always ask yourself is what I'm doing worthy of recognition? If somebody else was participating in the things that I am, or vice versa, if I was participating in the things that this other person is, would they be worthy of recognition? Would I be worthy of recognition? If the answer is no, you have to ask yourself, what kind of relationship do I have with myself that I'm engaging in that type of behavior, activities, that I'm not putting myself in a position where I can do better? Or what is the relationship with myself that I have, that I allow myself to be in the company of people who do things that I'm not proud of? Like I said, flip the script. It could be you, it could be somebody else, but you're dealing with something here like that. This is totally going to be like, people are going to hate me for this reading. Anyway, that is your year. You know me, I don't mince words. It's either good or bad, and a lot of time in tarot, it's never great. In fact, most of the time, it's not. So, anyway, Thanks for watching. I'll be coming out with some other readings some other time here, but happy Halloween, and we'll see you when we see you next. Okay, bye.